what's funny to me is Big Pun was a prankster. So Big Pun would shoot at old ladies coming out the supermarket with a big water gun. He would throw eggs at little kids.
Oh my goodness!
And then the cops, they knew Big Pun's the only rapper that I know of. I'm gonna just say New York City, but I'm willing to say Earth, that was rich, double platinum, and still lived right in the middle of the hood. He refused to move. I moved. I went straight to Jersey, mansions. I'm good. I was begging him, please. There's birds chirp in the morning, Pun. Like, get out
real
of here.
animals out
He
here.
was in the middle of the hood, 10, 15 motorcycles, Benzes, and it was like, yo, bro, you shooting out of a $200,000 car, water guns at these old ladies. The cops are coming to me. Like, yo, Joe, he got to stop. Like, we love him. We worship him. We cannot believe he lives in this neighborhood. Like, we don't want nothing to go wrong with Pun, but he can't shoot the old ladies, bro. Could you imagine going through depression? Let's keep it real.
Everything.
Hold up. Could you imagine going through depression? I was depressed. My best friend died. All my friends that I trusted were saying it's over for me.
Mm-hmm.
I never drank in my life. I start drinking. I get real fat. Remember Fat Joe got really out of shape, unhealthy. I'm going to therapy every week on the low.
When Pun passed away, I went through depression. But I'm not just saying depression lightly, real depression.
There are not many deaths that affected hip-hop like the loss of Big Pun did. Big Pun died when he was only 28 years old. His career in the mainstream lasted barely 7 years, but he had such huge talent that allowed him to make an enormous impact in the game in such a short period of time. Pun's real name is Christopher Rios, a Puerto Rican who was born and raised in the Bronx. Big Pun had what you can call a turbulent childhood. His parents split when he was quite young, and his mom then got married to a heroin addict. Before her second marriage, Pun's mother loved and took good care of her kids, but after marrying her second husband, Pun's mom was now addicted to drugs, and he and his siblings were now neglected. Big Pun was also abused constantly by his stepfather. And because he and his siblings no longer had a responsible parent to look after them, Big Pun jumped off the porch at a very young age. The young Big Pun was now a drug dealer selling white powder to make some money. However, Pun also got out of the drug game quite early. He caught his first offense at the age of 14, and after spending a night in jail, Pun promised himself that he would never spend another night behind bars. But Pun's mom wasn't happy about this. Remember, his mom was addicted to drugs, so she kicked his son out of the house after he stopped bringing in the money. So by the age of 15, Big Pun was homeless and had to couch surf at different friends' places just so he could get some food to eat. He also had to stash his clothes in abandoned buildings and wash them at outdoor water pumps. However, in the midst of all this, Big Pun also found love. He met a girl named Liza in junior high, and they started dating when Pun was 16 years old while she was 14.
Christopher adored Liza.
April 8th was the first time that he was like, oh, can you be, would you be my girl? That was when he popped the question, will you be my girlfriend? April 8th of 1987. Obviously, I said yes.
He met Liza and he was head over heels with Liza. And Liza was younger than him. Not much younger, but she was young. They were 14 years old, so it wasn't something that you say, oh yeah, that's wonderful, that's great, you're gonna go get married, because they were kids, so it was kind of like a puppy love, but it was much more than puppy love.
Also, during his teenage years, Big Pun was actually quite slim. In fact, he was actually an athlete. Pun's favorite sport was basketball, and he also used to train in boxing. But after some time, Big Pun dropped out of high school, and despite his financial troubles and accommodation problems, Pun and Liza got married as teenagers. And although he had dropped out of school, Big Pun remained an avid reader. It was around this time Big Pun became interested in breakdancing and hip-hop. Pun began writing lyrics as he wanted to become an MC. Big Pun also realized hip-hop could help solve his financial troubles, especially because Pun was now a father. Shortly after getting married to Liza, the high school sweethearts began a family and gave birth to a daughter, and they would eventually have 3 kids. It was also during this period that Big Pun's weight issues began. Pun was dealing with depression, which was caused by his chaotic childhood, so he used food as his comfort drug as an escape from depression. Big Pun then caught a lucky break in 1976. He received a settlement from the city for an accident that led to Pun breaking his leg while playing in the park. This undoubtedly made life easier for Big Pun, but it also worsened Pun's food problems. Now that he had more money, Big Pun fed his food addiction. Pun's weight went from 180 pounds to over 250 pounds, and at some point he became so big that he could no longer tie his shoes himself. However, he never stopped chasing his dreams of becoming a rapper. Pun and his friends, Lyrical Assassin, Tomb, and Joker Jams, formed a group known as Full Eclipse. During this period, Big Pun's stage name was Big Moondog, before he eventually changed it to Big Punisher, which is popularly shortened to Big Pun. Pun's life then changed forever in 1995. He was outside a convenience store when he met another rapper, Fat Joe, and insisted that he wanted to rhyme for him. And by the time Big Pun was done freestyling, let's just say Fat Joe was now the one insisting that Pun enters his car.
But I'm coming out the store, my Diet Pepsi, they all rapping. I'm like, all right, I got the Lexus. It's ready, Fat Joe. Okay. And so the man goes, hold up, let me rap. So I'm like, what is the fatter Puerto Rican dude gonna rap about, right?
Right.
So I stop for a second, and he go, and he got this, he got like a tank top on. He got these rosaries, like the rosaries they give you in church with the cross. He got the joint up around this thing and his shit hanging. He going da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. He's rapping like, but if it's in the mall, ain't it all, So he going like this, and then he stopped as if a car just stopped. He said, snatch the moon out the sky, does the hand gesture, and blow the sun away. Me and my people praying hardcore together. I was like, oh my God! Wow! I opened up the passenger side door to the Lexus. I was like, please, get in, please.
After Big Pun signed with Fat Joe, it didn't take too long for him to prove just how talented he was. Big Pun was a lyrical genius. He signed with Terror Squad Entertainment and also became a member of Fat Joe's Terror Squad. His first appearance was on Fat Joe's second album, Jealous One's Envy. Pun was featured on the song Watch Out. And although Fat Joe had been successful in the industry years before he discovered Big Pun, he stated that Big Pun was the one who taught him how to record hits.
And even though I discovered Big Pun, the truth is he taught me how to make hit records. So he's literally sat me down. Like, I wouldn't do that for nobody no more. Literally sat me down, was like, yo, right about here, you gotta talk to the girls, Joe. Right about here, we gotta keep it gangster. Here, we gotta keep the work. And he literally showed me.
In the midst of the fame and success he achieved, Pun managed to remain the same man, and he never lost his sense of humor. Fat Joe stated that Big Pun continued to live in the hood, and even after he became so successful, you would still find Big Pun shooting water guns at old ladies in the streets.
What's funny to me is Big Pun was a prankster. So Big Pun would shoot at old ladies coming out the supermarket with a big water gun. He would throw eggs at little kids.
Oh my goodness.
And then the cops, they knew Big Pun's the only rapper that I know of. I'm gonna just say New York City, but I'm willing to say Earth, that was rich, double platinum, and still lived right in the middle of the hood. He refused to move. I moved. I went straight to Jersey, mansions. I'm good. I was begging him, please. There's birds chirp in the morning, Pun. Like, get out
real
of here.
animals out
He
here.
was in the middle of the hood, 10, 15 motorcycles, Benzes, and it was like, yo, bro, you shooting out of a $200,000 car, water guns at these old ladies. The cops are coming to me like, yo, Joe, he got to stop. Like, we love him. We worship him. We cannot believe he lives in this neighborhood. Like, we don't want nothing to go wrong with Pun, but he can't shoot the old ladies, bro. I'm like...
Big Pun released his debut album, Capital Punishment, in April 1998. And if you have a chance, make sure you give it a listen. It's an undeniable classic. Pun is one of those MCs who was good enough to have multiple rhymes within each line. He was just so nice with it and outrageously good. Rolling Stone magazine included Capital Punishment on their list of the 200 greatest hip-hop albums of all time. The album had hits such as I'm Not a Player and Still Not a Player. And after the release of Capital Punishment, Pun was undoubtedly a rival for the likes of Nas, Jay-Z, and Biggie. And if you are still not convinced about how good Big Pun was, he also proved himself on Fat Joe's song, John Blaze. Fat Joe featured Nas, Jadakiss, Raekwon, and Big Pun. Big Pun's verse was so good on this song that Nas decided to change his own verse after listening to it. Some people also refer to Pun as the Latino Biggie, not just because of his size, but because of how talented he was. Big Pun's debut album was even nominated for Best Rap Album at the Grammys. It was at this event that Fat Joe and Big Pun gave us that iconic picture where they were both wearing suits. Although Fat Joe revealed that they never even made it into the venue that night.
Years ago, we got nominated, Pun, and we went, and there's still a funny picture of me and Pun. We were so big, we looked like comic book heroes. We had matching suits. Pun flew in a guy from the Bay Area, a girl from the Bay Area. She did finger waves on him like Drew Down in them, and he had the finger waves. And we rented the mansion, and we went over there. And the time we walked in the Grammys, they was like, "Oh no, you lost already."
They
And
fronted on
I
you.
looked around, every celebrity, everything. Pun was like, "Yo, twin, let's get out of here. They jerking me. Let's go." I was like, "Yo, we never been to the Grammys. Look, Smokey Robinson." And he was like, "Yo, twin, what's up? Let's go." I said, "Damn, Pun." We walked out with Pun. I was so pissed.
Fat Joe stated that Pun was so good that he didn't even realize how good some of his lines were because of the standards he had set for himself.
But that was a joke to Pun. Dead in the middle of little.
Little did we know that every riddle's a middleman who didn't do diddly.
He used to say it like joking around. He did it. I said, "Yo, that shit should go in there." He was like, "Oh, that shit whack. It's a joke. It's a joke." I'm like, "Yo, my nigga, you need to put that shit in here." And then I forced him, and the nigga did the dead in the middle of it. Yo, I remember doing the Apollo with this nigga.
Wow.
I think you came out with us. We had matching furs on. Yo, my nigga. We come out, we do that shit. That's the first song. And he go, we drop the music. Dead in the middle of the little, then we know every middle, so middle, didn't do diddly. It looked like the Apollo was gonna crack.
Right.
Then I back up and run behind stage, and then we come out again.
Right.
Like 8 times in a row, we did going backstage like you never saw us the first time.
However, despite how great Pun was, there was one persistent problem that eventually ended his career: his weight problems. At some point in his career, Big Pun weighed 700 pounds. Fat Joe stated that because of his weight, Pun would have to take breaks during the shows as he could no longer perform or remain on his feet for too long.
Pun ballooned to 700 pounds. His health was becoming a major issue. Everything became excess. Pun had respiratory problems his entire career. Sometimes during shows, he would have to take breaks while his hype man kept the crowd engaged. If I'd had back then all the knowledge I know about health now, we would have never let him get like that. I was over 450 pounds myself. I wasn't healthy either.
In 1999, he enrolled in a weight loss program and lost 80 pounds. But he left the program prematurely, and unfortunately, he even regained the weight he lost. And on the 5th of February 2000, Big Pun withdrew from a Saturday Night Live performance with Fat Joe and Jennifer Lopez due to illness. 2 days after this, Pun had a heart attack and was rushed to White Plains Hospital, where he unfortunately passed away at the age of 28. And we only got one album from Big Pun while he was alive. However, there are 2 sides to the story of Big Pun. The rapper Big Pun was flawless on the mic, but the man Christopher Rios had been accused of being a bad father and husband. Pun's wife, Liza Rios, stated that the rapper used to abuse his family physically and mentally. Liza stated that Big Pun pistol whipped her and even abused her while she was pregnant.
First of all, my husband, I've been with him for a long time. Since I was 14. We grew up together, and he is clearly a sociopath.
And I've been pistol whipped. I've gotten 16 stitches in my face. I got 4 stitches in my lip. I had 6 stitches in my fingers. I was pregnant with my daughter. I'm grabbing my stomach. And at one point when he pulled the knife, then it cut both my fingers. And then it ended up cutting this tendon.
Liza also stated that Pun stopped her from watching talk shows and having friends, and even Pun's sister confirmed that everything Liza said is true.
He He treated her really poorly, which was amazing because I knew that he loved her. So it's so odd that she was his sun, his moon, and his stars, yet he abused her.
He wouldn't want me watching talk shows, because on talk shows they talk about cheating and they talk about abuse and talk about whatever. So for me not to get any ideas, you know what I'm saying? He didn't want to have no girlfriends because, you know, they bad influence or whatever. So they want me to go into school because, you know, God forbid I get an education. I realize, you know, what the hell I'm doing in my life. You know, there's so much more I could do out there. You know what I'm saying? So he just tried to keep me, you know, in his palm of his hand. And he would do that a lot with fear. You know what I'm saying? By kicking my ass, putting fear into my heart.
Big Pun's only son, Chris Rivers, who is also a rapper, even released a song titled Fear of My Crown, where he rapped about the abuse he witnessed when he was a child.
I look into my past and I could barely force a smile. The common misconceptions that parents should forge a child. From the fires of experience, happiness, hand-me-downs, and the wisdom you acquire, not anger and acting wild. You're worse than the bullies, the rapists, and pedophiles. It's you that we should trust to protect us and make us proud. I should strive to be the man that you presented to me, not the man that you showed your friends that you pretended to be. I look in mommy's eyes and said I'd kill him if I could, but I'm too damn weak and small and I'm not sure if I even should, but I've seen what he's done to you. I know that it isn't good. If I could be a shining armor, I swear to God that I would, and I wish I said more things.
Fat Joe also stated that he invited Chris Rivers to come and rap his father's verses when he did a tribute to Big Pun. However, Pun's son decided not to do the event because his mother told him not to. This was obviously because the man they knew is different from the Big Pun you and I saw on our screens.
Will you ever work with Chris Rivers?
The problem is, and I don't want to go there because we've been talking about stuff that we could benefit from.
Right.
Or something that the problem is, he don't want to work with me, okay? And so what happens is, he was a baby. He was a baby. He should be my nephew. He should be in my house right now.
Right.
You know, we did a tribute to Big Pun. I don't want to keep talking about this, but big tribute. Busta comes out, Cameron, the Locks, the this, the that, the 20th anniversary. I reached out to his son. You know Sean C, you could confirm this with Sean C. He put us on the phone. Yo, bro, we gonna do a tribute to your father. It's big, it's Radio City, is sold out. I know you wanna rap. Yo, come do your father's parts in the song. This is after all the smoke in the world. He said, yeah. One day before the thing, we get back on the phone. He says, yo, I can't do it. My mom's told me not to do it. What do y'all want me to do?
Big Pun will always remain a legend, and everyone will always remember and appreciate Big Pun the rapper as one of the most talented MCs we've ever had. However, we can never ignore the allegations against Big Pun as a husband and father.